that's like my flow. That's the flow I make when I don't got no beat. You see what I'm saying? Because I made that song. I wrote it without no beat. I made the song on a bus on my way to Chicago from Atlanta and shit.
In the realm of hip-hop, the name King Von resonates with a unique blend of raw talent and gritty authenticity. Born Davon Daquan Bennett, this Chicago-based rapper emerged from humble beginnings to ascend as a formidable force in the music industry. With his distinctive storytelling and unapologetic lyricism, King Von captivated audiences worldwide, garnering both acclaim and controversy in equal measure.
If you was hanging with Von, you had to accept everything that came with Von. You had to accept that you was gonna be in shootings, accept that it was gonna be that, and you had to be with it, you feel me, with Von.
In today's video, we delve into the enigmatic world of rapper King Von, where intrigue, violence, and secrets lurk beneath the surface. In this gripping narrative, we uncover 4 dark secrets that King Von attempted to keep hidden from the public eye. Number 1, the Black Disciples Gang. The Black Disciples Gang is a prominent street gang based in Chicago, Illinois. Growing up in a neighborhood infamously known as O Block, King Von was immersed in the harsh realities of street life from an early age. The area gained its notorious reputation after the 2011 killing of O.D. Perry, a member of the Black Disciples Gang. O Block became synonymous with danger, witnessing the highest number of shootings in Chicago between 2011 and 2014. It was within this environment that Davon, later known as King Von, found himself drawn into the world of gangs. Tragically, King Von's relationship with his father was cut short when he was just 11 years old. His father's life was taken in a violent incident, leaving a void in King Von's life that would shape his future. The loss of his father had a profound impact on him, and it fueled his desire to escape the cycle of violence and poverty that surrounded him. As a young boy, King Von witnessed the struggles and allure of the Black Disciples. The gang's presence was pervasive, with its influence reaching every corner of the neighborhood. Offering a sense of belonging and protection in a community plagued by poverty and violence, the Black Disciples became a prominent fixture in King Von's upbringing. King Von's introduction to the Black Disciples came at a tender age, as he sought guidance and acceptance in a world that seemed to offer little else. The gang became a surrogate family, providing him with a support system and a sense of identity. It was here that he found camaraderie and a shared purpose among his peers. While some may view his affiliation with the gang as a choice, for King Von, it was a product of circumstance. The allure of the streets and the sense of belonging offered by the Black Disciples were difficult to resist in an environment where survival often depended on gang affiliations. It was a path that many young individuals in Chicago found themselves walking, seeking protection and a sense of purpose in a world that seemed determined to keep them down. As King Von's involvement with the Black Disciples deepened, it began to shape not only his personal life, but also his music career. Despite King Von's effort to hide it, the gang became an integral part of his artistic journey, influencing his lyrics, style, and overall image. Drawing inspiration from the harsh realities of his upbringing and the experiences he witnessed within the Black Disciples, King Von's music became a raw and unfiltered reflection of his life on the streets. His lyrics painted vivid pictures of the violence, poverty, and struggles that plagued his community, offering a glimpse into a world that many could not comprehend. The Black Disciples' presence in King Von's music was undeniable. He proudly embraced his affiliation, often referencing O Block and the gang in his songs. Through his music, he aimed to shed light on the realities of street life and the complexities of gang culture, providing a voice for those who had been silenced by society. While some criticized King Von for glorifying gang violence, others saw his music as a form of storytelling, a way to shed light on the harsh realities faced by many in marginalized communities. His lyrics resonated with listeners who could relate to the struggles he described, offering them a sense of validation and understanding. However, the influence of the Black Disciples on King Von's music was not limited to his lyrics alone. The gang's presence extended to his overall image and persona. He embraced the street aesthetic, donning attire that reflected his affiliation and the gritty nature of his upbringing. This authenticity resonated with his audience, who saw him as a genuine representation of the realities they faced. The Black Disciples' criminal enterprise extended beyond the realm of violence. They were suspected of trafficking guns and marijuana in Atlanta, according to law enforcement sources. Court records revealed that members of the gang had been conducting illegal activities in the city for years, further solidifying their presence and influence. Marvel Thompson, a reputed kingpin of the Black Disciples in Chicago, was implicated in money laundering. He was found to have laundered millions of dollars of drug proceeds through a car wash and a nightclub he owned in Atlanta. Thompson's criminal activities highlighted the extent of the gang's reach and the depth of their involvement in illicit operations. However, the ramifications of King Von's affiliation with the Black Disciples extended far beyond the confines of street life. The gang's illicit activities and ongoing conflicts with rival factions cast a pervasive shadow over his existence, resulting in numerous run-ins with law enforcement and a cascade of legal troubles that would haunt him throughout his career. King Von Von's entanglement with the criminal justice system began at a tender age, with his first brush with incarceration occurring in 2013. He faced a hefty 3-year prison sentence for the unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. This charge illuminated a troubling pattern of association with illegal firearms, underscoring the intricate complexities of his tumultuous life. The next chapter in King Von's legal saga unfolded in 2012 when he found himself sentenced to boot camp following a theft charge. This legal ordeal followed closely on the heels of an armed robbery accusation, which fortunately for him was ultimately dropped. Despite his various encounters with law enforcement, King Von and the Black Disciples persisted in their operations, navigating the treacherous terrain of street life with unwavering determination. Yet the Black Disciples were not the sole Chicago-based gang to establish a foothold in Atlanta. Their bitter rivals, the Gangster Disciples, also wielded influence in the city. In 2016, a federal indictment targeted dozens of Gangster Disciples, levying charges ranging from multiple murders to drug trafficking, robbery, carjacking, and bank fraud. The ongoing turf wars between these adversarial gangs only served to exacerbate the already volatile atmosphere in Atlanta, perpetuating a cycle of violence and instability. This rivalry with other gangs would eventually contribute to King Von's untimely demise.
Right now we have one male black, 26 years old, transported to Northwestern Hospital where he was pronounced deceased.
On the fateful night of November 6, 2020, the vibrant Atlanta nightlife took a dark turn as an argument between two groups escalated into a violent shootout, ultimately claiming the life of rising Chicago drill star King Von. The events leading up to this tragic incident unfolded outside Monaco Hookah Lounge, a popular gathering spot. It all began with a heated dispute between two groups, the details of which remain shrouded in speculation. As tensions flared, emotions ran high, and the situation quickly spiraled out of control. The argument reached a boiling point, and before anyone could intervene, gunshots rang out, shattering the night's tranquility. Amidst the chaos, two off-duty uniformed police officers working security at the lounge and an on-duty officer on patrol nearby rushed to the scene. Their presence was an attempt to restore order and prevent further harm. However, the situation had already escalated beyond their control. As the officers approached the scene, shots continued to be fired, creating a scene of utter panic and confusion. Miraculously, the officers themselves managed to escape unharmed, but the same could not be said for the individuals caught in the crossfire. Tragically, King Von was one of the victims caught in the hail of bullets. The Atlanta Police Department confirmed that Mr. Bennett was shot during the initial shootout between the two groups of males, before the police had a chance to respond and intervene. The exact circumstances surrounding his involvement in the altercation remain a subject of speculation. Number 2, the killing of Gakira Barnes.
People are saying King Von, he ended chaos.
Gakira Barnes, a rapper hailing from Chicago's South Side, shares a strikingly similar upbringing to King Von, navigating the harsh realities of poverty, crime, and gang activity. From her early years, Gakira was thrust into a world that would shape her destiny in unforeseen ways. Despite her unassuming stature, Gakira harbored a fierce determination beneath her shy exterior, earning her a notorious reputation. Her journey into the murky depths of gang violence began in her teenage years. While her peers were envisioning brighter futures, Gakira found herself drawn to the allure of the streets. Within the ranks of the notorious Gangster Disciples, she found her calling, joining a faction renowned for its ruthless tactics and unwavering loyalty. The Gangster Disciple Nation is an African-American street and prison gang. In 1968, amidst the tumultuous streets of Chicago, two formidable figures emerged, Larry Hoover and David Barksdale. Despite their contrasting backgrounds and rivalries, they joined forces to create a formidable entity, the Black Gangster Disciple Nation, often abbreviated as the Gangster Disciple Nation. Their collaboration marked a significant chapter in the city's history as the Black Gangster Disciple Nation swiftly rose to prominence, establishing itself as a dominant force in African-American street and prison culture. Under the banner of growth and development, they wielded influence and power, commanding respect and fear in equal measure. However, as the years passed, cracks began to appear within the organization. Leadership disputes and internal strife led to a fracture in the once unified front. By 1989, tensions reached a boiling point, culminating in a schism that divided the gang into two distinct factions, the Gangster Disciple Nation and the Black Disciple Nation. This rupture marked a turning point in the gang's trajectory. These factions became rivals. As a member of Gangster Disciple Nation, Gakira embraced the lifestyle wholeheartedly. She swiftly earned the moniker K.I., an abbreviation of her first name. Her transformation surprised those who knew her as a timid girl. However, Gakira's allegiance to the Gangster Disciples came at a cost. Entangled in the cycle of violence that engulfed Chicago's streets, she became a central figure in the deadly feud between between rival gangs. Dubbed a hitter for her willingness to engage in violence, Gakira attracted the attention of law enforcement and rival factions alike, further cementing her reputation in the unforgiving landscape of gang warfare. King Von and Gakira's relationship was complex and fraught with uncertainty. Von purportedly conveyed his fondness for K.I., even urging her to abandon gang life. However, Gakira's closest confidant voiced skepticism, believing that Von's motives were insincere. There were concerns that Von's affection might have been a guise to harm her rather than a genuine display of care.
Yeah, he wanted to be her boyfriend. She just felt like he was trying to set her up and kill her.
As violence escalated between the gangster disciples and their rivals, Gakira Barnes found herself at the epicenter of the storm. Her reputation as a feared hitter and her role in the ongoing gang warfare made her a target, both from rival gang members and her own faction. Law enforcement sources suspected Gakira of being responsible for multiple shootings, including at least one murder. Rumors swirled on the streets, suggesting her involvement in as many as 15 shootings. Her alleged prowess with a gun instilled fear in those who crossed her path. Known for her boldness, she's sometimes even mistaken for a boy, a testament to her audacity and influence within the gang. The tragic events that unfolded in Gakira's life would ultimately lead to her untimely demise, leaving behind a legacy marked by violence and unanswered questions. On April 11, 2014, the streets of Woodlawn became the backdrop for a tragedy that would forever alter the course of Gakira's life. On that fateful day, a hooded gunman approached Gakira in front of a home in the 6,400 block of South Eberhard and opened fire, striking her 7 times. 2 young men were also wounded in the attack, but it was evident that Gakira was the intended target. Police sources even suggested that her own gang may have wanted her gone, viewing her as a catalyst for violence. Following Gakira's murder, King Von found himself under police scrutiny as a person of interest in the tragic shooting. However, despite being questioned, authorities couldn't bring charges against him due to inconsistencies in witness testimonies. To this day, speculation lingers that King Von may have been involved in Gakira's murder due to their affiliations with rival gangs. The story of Gakira Barnes serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of gang warfare. Her life epitomized the desperation and hopelessness that can consume individuals growing up in neighborhoods plagued by violence. In the aftermath of Gakira's death, the community of Woodlawn was left reeling, grappling with the senseless loss of a young life. Vigils were held in her honor, with friends and family gathering to mourn her passing and demand justice for her senseless murder. The tragedy sparked conversations about gang violence and the urgent need for intervention and support for at-risk youth in marginalized communities. Despite the passage of time, the case remains unsolved, leaving a cloud of uncertainty hanging over the circumstances of Gakira's death. The streets of Woodlawn continue to whisper rumors and speculation about what truly happened that fateful day, but the truth remains elusive. As the years have passed, Gakira's memory has lived on in the hearts of those who knew and loved her. Her story serves as a cautionary tale, a poignant reminder of the human cost of violence and the importance of working towards a safer, more equitable society for all. Number 3, the killing of Malcolm Stuckey. Malcolm Stuckey was a 19-year-old college student who lost his life after getting caught in a crossfire involving King Von and the Black Disciple Gang. The harrowing events transpired on a fateful day in May 2014 within the Englewood neighborhood of Chicago. Malcolm, a college basketball player and museum janitor, innocently arrived at his friend's birthday celebration in a burgundy Pontiac Grand Prix, oblivious to the impending danger that awaited him. As Malcolm approached the gathering, located at a 2-story house on S. LaSalle Saint, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement and anticipation. However, unbeknownst to him, tension simmered beneath the surface. 19-year-old rapper King Von and Black Disciples member was among the attendees. His presence would soon ignite a series of tragic events. Upon spotting rival gang members at the party, King Von opted to momentarily depart, sensing trouble on the horizon. Little did anyone suspect that he would return armed with a lethal weapon. The party's host and another Black Disciples member cautioned King Von against causing trouble. Assuring her of his peaceful intentions, King Von exited the house, leaving an uneasy atmosphere in his wake. However, King Von's departure proved temporary. Teaming up with an accomplice, Michael Wade, he retrieved a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson pistol obtained months earlier in Mississippi. Unbeknownst to all, this firearm would unleash devastation in Englewood. Armed with the loaded guns, King Von and Wade stepped out of the vehicle and made their way to the front of the residence. Their intentions were far from innocent as they approached the front porch where Stuckey and 2 others were seated, enjoying the festivities. Without warning, chaos erupted. King and Wade opened fire on the unsuspecting victims, shattering the peaceful atmosphere of the birthday party. Panic and confusion ensued as partygoers scrambled to find safety, desperately trying to comprehend the horrifying scene unfolding before their eyes. Stuckey and another man attempted to flee down LaSalle Street, hoping to escape the hail of bullets. But fate had a different plan. Both were struck by gunfire, their lives forever altered in an instant. Tragically, Stuckey suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the head, sealing his fate on that fateful night. After the horrifying shooting at the birthday party, law enforcement authorities wasted no time in their pursuit of justice. The search for the perpetrators led them to King Von and his accomplice, Michael Wade. It didn't take long for investigators to piece together the events of that tragic night. Witnesses came forward, providing crucial information that would help build a case against the suspects. The evidence began to mount, painting a damning picture of Bennett and Wade's involvement in the senseless act of violence. On the day of their arrest, King Von and Wade were apprehended by law enforcement officials. The weight of their alleged crimes hung heavy in the air. As they were taken into custody, their freedom abruptly halted. The charges brought against King Von were nothing short of severe. He was charged with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder, reflecting the devastating consequences of his alleged actions. The weight of these charges would undoubtedly have a profound impact on his future. Wade, who had already been charged prior to King Von's arrest, now faced upgraded charges. He too was charged with murder and 2 counts of attempted murder, further solidifying the case against him. As the investigation unfolded, prosecutors revealed chilling details about the events leading up to the shooting. Wade admitted to police that he had accompanied King Von to the party, acting as his muscle. Their intention was to confront an individual who had been steady eyeballing Bennett, a confrontation that would ultimately escalate into a tragedy. During the chaos of the shooting, Wade confessed to firing his weapon multiple times, targeting one of the victims. The sheer magnitude of the violence was evident in the recovery of over 20 shell casings at the crime scene, a stark reminder of the devastation caused by their actions. The arrest and subsequent charges against King Von sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Bennett, a rising star in the music industry, had garnered a significant following with his music. Fans and critics alike were left stunned by the allegations against him as his promising career took a dark and unexpected turn. King Von chose not to cooperate with the police. Initially, Wade took a different stance, turning on his friend and agreeing to testify against him. It was almost a year after their initial arrests, and several months following King Von's purported use of the Smith & Wesson in a separate shooting, when the police claimed they found the weapon in the possession of another individual in Chicago. However, the case's integrity crumbled when Wade withdrew his commitment to testify against Von. Both King Von and Wade eventually secured acquittal on the murder charges. Notably, Wade did face a conviction for aggravated battery with a firearm, resulting in a 28-year prison sentence specifically for the shooting. Number 4, the shooting of Alexander Witherspoon.
They say around 5 in the morning on February 5th, Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Derek Banks, and his co-defendant Devontae Bennett were seen on camera involved in shooting Alexander Witherspoon, a person police say they knew.
In 2019, Alexander Witherspoon, a 23-year-old member of the Vice Lords known for his participation in card cracking and scams on Chicago's East Side, found himself thrust into a pivotal confrontation with King Von and his friend rapper Lil Durk. Lil Durk, born Dirk Derek Banks, emerged from the tough neighborhoods of Inglewood and the south side of Chicago, much like his counterpart, King Von, raised in an environment rife with poverty, crime, and gang activity. Durk's journey mirrored that of many young men navigating the streets of Chicago. However, his involvement in the city's tumultuous streets often transcended into his personal life, leading to a series of high-profile incidents that captured headlines and raised eyebrows. One of the earliest controversies surrounding Durk stemmed from his alleged connection to a 2014 shooting incident. Accused of involvement in a shooting outside an Atlanta nightclub, Durk faced arrest and attempted murder charges. Despite the sensational nature of the allegations, the case against him eventually crumbled due to a lack of concrete evidence. Nevertheless, the incident thrust Durk into the public eye, casting a shadow of doubt over his reputation and raising questions about his potential ties to violence. In 2015, Durk found himself entangled in legal troubles once more, this time facing charges related to firearms. During a routine police stop in Chicago, he was discovered in possession of a loaded firearm, a violation of the law that further fueled speculation about his involvement in criminal activities. Durk pleaded guilty to the charges and received a probation sentence. The incident with Alexander Witherspoon unfolded on a chilly night in Atlanta, Georgia on February 5th. The Varsity, a bustling drive-in restaurant renowned for its savory offerings and lively ambiance, set the stage for an unforeseen turn of events. Among the diners that evening stood 2 prominent figures in the rap scene, King Von and Lil Durk, both carving their paths to stardom with gritty verses and street credibility. Yet, on this particular night, their personas faced faced a profound test. As the evening progressed, tension simmered beneath the surface. Alexander Witherspoon, a man with a checkered past and rumored ties to shady dealings, found himself unwittingly entangled in a volatile situation. Confronted by King Von and Lil Durk, the specifics of the exchange remain shrouded in ambiguity. Witnesses recount a verbal exchange escalating into a physical altercation, culminating in the eruption of gunfire. Amidst the chaos, bullets pierced the air, finding their mark in Witherspoon's flesh. The sudden eruption of violence reverberated through the restaurant, plunging patrons into a state of panic. Rushed to Atlanta Medical Center in critical condition, Witherspoon became a symbol of the collateral damage wrought by the clash of egos. The incident reverberated far beyond the confines of the eatery, sending shockwaves through the music industry and the community at large. Fans and critics grappled with the implications of their idols embroiled in such a controversy. Speculation ran rife, painting a narrative of a clash between rival factions, escalating into bloodshed. However, the narrative took a convoluted turn when legal counsel for King Von and Lil Durk posited a defense of self-preservation. Alleging that Witherspoon was armed and posed an imminent threat, they contended that their clients acted in defense of their lives in the heat of the moment. During a pivotal bail hearing, a pivotal moment unfolded as an Atlanta police officer disclosed surveillance footage capturing Lil Durk discharging a firearm toward the victim.
You see Mr. Banks' arm out the window firing several shots at the victim, towards the victim.
Adding weight to the prosecution's case, a Chicago detective journeyed to Atlanta to attest to King Von and Lil Durk's affiliations with the Black Disciples gang, painting a complex portrait of the circumstances surrounding the incident. As the trial progressed, more details emerged about the alleged robbery that preceded the shooting. Prosecutors claimed that King Von and Lil Durk not only shot Alexander Witherspoon, but also stole his Jeep Cherokee and $30,000 in cash. These additional charges further complicated the legal battle. Throughout the trial, the rappers maintained their innocence, standing by their claims of self-defense. Their attorneys argued that they were targeted and provoked, leading to the violent altercation. The defense team painted a picture of two young men caught up in a dangerous world, forced to protect themselves. The trial captivated the nation, with media outlets providing daily updates on the proceedings. Supporters of King Von and Lil Durk rallied behind them, while others called for justice to be served. The case became a symbol of the ongoing debate surrounding violence in the music industry. After spending weeks behind bars, Lil Durk was eventually released on a $250,000 bond, allowing him to return to his daily life, albeit under the looming shadow of legal proceedings. Similarly, King Von secured his freedom with a $300,000 bond, marking the beginning of a new chapter filled with uncertainty and legal battles. King Von's life was a poignant narrative marked by talent, adversity, and the perilous pull of gang involvement. His entanglement with gangs left him burdened with many secrets he attempted to conceal, ultimately culminating in his tragic demise. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.